how worn out is your chain? Is it worn out enough where you need to get it replaced? What happens when a chain is getting worn is you see these little rollers right here. As you use your bike, the rollers get smaller and smaller in diameter. They are no longer going to fit very well on the sprockets and the chain ring. And as that happens, the chain is going to skip. Your shifting's not going to be as efficient, as crisp. And if you wait too long to replace your chain, then what's going to happen is it's going to accelerate the wear on the rest of your drivetrain. The first thing that will get worn out will be the rear sprockets, but if you wait too long, then eventually your chain ring will get worn out. So replacing your chain is like getting the oil changed out of your car. It's a good thing to do every 1,000 miles or so when the chain gets worn out. It depends on how you ride. Some people's chains will last longer than others. It really just depends on the bike and the person and how they ride. But it is a good thing to keep an eye on, because otherwise, if you don't change your chain out when it's supposed to be changed out, it's going to cost a lot more money. What I'm holding here, we just call it a chain checker. The whole idea of the chain checker is just to show you how worn out is your chain. Is it worn out enough where you need to get it replaced? For this specific tool, you just put the pin down here. Make sure it's at 0 when you do that. You want to push it until it stops, and then you read the number that it stopped at, which it's stopping at 0.5. If it's between 0 and 0.5, that means the chain is not worn. Now, if it were to stop at 0.75, that means that the chain is worn. It should be replaced. If it stops at 1 millimeter, it means that the chain is really worn, and it's possible that your rear sprockets may also be worn. If you put a brand new chain on a bike and the sprockets are worn, it's not going to shift properly. So that's why it's important to confirm that the sprockets are okay. That's why it's nice to have this tool, because it'll tell you whether or not the chain and or the sprockets need to be replaced. How long does it take for a chain to wear out? It really just depends on different factors. It depends on the rider, you know, the weight of the rider, how a rider rides the bike, right? Are they a spinner or are they a masher, right? Somebody who mashes versus spins, they're going to wear their chain out faster. Is there a motor on the bike? If your bike is electric, that is also going to accelerate the wear on the chain, because you're adding extra torque to the chain. So that's why it's a good idea to invest in a chain checker, especially if you have an e-bike, because that way you can keep an eye on this chain and replace it before it causes wear to any of the other components.
Hope to see you riding!